Hello again, as you may be able to tell, I'm at an airport, which is interesting because at about 9 PM last night I wasn't expecting to be in an airport at 7 AM this morning, but at about 10 PM last night, after I was about 8 episodes into Long Way Down, which is a series that always seems to inspire me with a lust to just get out and do something. So I jumped online, I booked a flight, and here I am, the very next morning after about 5 hours sleep, flying somewhere. So where am I going? Brisbane. You know, if you've been watching me long enough, you know I used to live there. I lived there for a little over a year, and then I moved to Sydney, and I've been in Sydney for about a year and a half. I've been back to Brisbane briefly since then, but I miss the place. Should be fun. Sort of a brief little 2-night adventure in Brisbane. So, didn't bring my charger for this camera though, which could be a problem. I don't know what it is about airplanes, but almost the instant I get on them, I get sleepy. I think it's the drone of the engines, the vibration through the entire cabin, that sort of white noise effects. It just puts me out like a light almost. That's something. More than once I've been asleep before takeoff even. Just sitting on the tarmac, waiting for takeoff. Just one of the other benefits of travelling very early on a Sunday morning when very few people are also travelling is get an entire aisle to myself. And there's like only one other person who can actually see me talking to my own camera like an idiot. So it makes you less self-conscious about doing this. I freaking love travelling with carry-on only. So I don't have to stand around at those goddamn carousels waiting for the luggage to come out. Everyone crowds around, everyone sort of pushes to the front so you can't see what's coming around the carousel. Anyway, selfish bastards. Carry-on only, off the plane, out the door, to the train, into the city, job done. Makes life simple. And how's that for timing? Next train departs in 4 minutes. Just enough time to buy a ticket and get on. Brilliant. Okay then, I've deboarded from my cheap flight. I got on the train and apparently my Brisbane rail pass thingy still works and still had credit on it, so that was cool. I checked into my cheap hotel, which is small but cheap. You know, as long as I've got a bed and a TV and a place to wash, I'm relatively happy, so it'll do. Bed's pretty hard, linen's unimpressive, but what do you want? You know, I'm not here to chill out in the hotel room, I'm here to go explore the old city where I used to live, and I love Brisbane, and just walking here actually was a brilliant reminder about how quiet Brisbane is compared to Sydney. I mean, this is a Sunday, so it's a quiet day anyway, and tomorrow's a public holiday here as well, so it should be quiet then as well. But even on normal days, the city of Brisbane is, compared to Sydney at least, so quiet. And it still sounds like a city, and there's still cars and trucks and shit going around, but in Sydney, the din is just ongoing, and you get so used to it, you don't really hear it anymore. You just go, oh, background noise, big noisy city. Until you come to a place like Brisbane, you go, oh, lovely big city, a little more spread out, and why can't I hear anything? Yeah, I love this city. It's so pretty. The quality of light here, even for a photographer's eye, the sun and the sky are so much clearer here than they are in Sydney. Sydney's always sort of got this murk over it, this mist, this smog, and this sort of cloudiness to the air almost. I mean, it doesn't smell bad, and you're not, you know, choking like you are in the biggest of the big American cities, which just have layers of smog and shit. Sydney's not too bad, but when you come to a place like this, come to a place like Brisbane, you really notice just how much clearer the air seems and how much purer the light feels when it hits things. It's brighter and clearer and sharper, and it's like putting on a pair of glasses or something. I don't know how to describe it, but I love this city, which is, you know, why I've come back here for a couple of days to kind of chill out and de-stress. And here it's just, and again, I didn't realise how stressed out Sydney makes me until I came back here. And I went, that's right. I didn't used to spend every day kind of feeling strung out. I used to be able to relax when I go for my walks and wanders. So, but, you know, of course, Sydney's where all the exciting stuff happens, which is why I moved there in the first place, all the product launches, and it's much, much easier to get, you know, review products and things like that, which, you know, I'm filming on one at the moment. This is a camera Sony have lent me for review, and I bought it with me to test it out as a run-and-gun road machine, which is what I'm thinking about buying one for myself to do, so it'll inform the review somewhat doing this as well. Anyway, I'm going to finish sort of uncluttering my bag and go for a wander and show you around the city a little bit, I think. Now behind me here is the Story Bridge, which, as you may imagine by the name, has an interesting story behind its construction. However, I don't care, and I never bothered to learn what that story is, so if you're interested, I don't know, Wikipedia it or something. It's just a bridge as far as I'm concerned. As you can see, it's not even the world's most pretty bridge. I like to imagine it was just named the Story Bridge because some dude named Bob Story designed it, or built it, or, you know, fell off it when they were building it or something. That's Brisbane River, the lifeblood of the city. And over here, there's a tall ship for some reason. I may be entirely mistaken, but I think that might be the Young Endeavour, which is a recreation of the Endeavour, which is, you know, one of the tall ships that old Captain Cook came around on when they were settling Australia. Well, for the white people anyway. Blackfella had been here for a while before that, but, you know, when I talk about that, people tend to get pissy. I don't know. I never found those big old ships very charming. I mean, they're all wood and knots and shit. Just feel so old-fashioned. Look at buddy spiderweb. Give me a modern boat. That's why we have modern boats, because they're better. Sure, they don't look maybe as... Actually, it's not even that pretty. Like, it's just covered in rigging. It's hideous. Oh no, look, it's clouding over. Well, for Brisbane, it's cloudy anyway. Right, you don't see it? Look, see? It's not a smear on the lens, it's cloud. It's all cloudy in Brisbane today, it's terrible. Horrible Brisbane weather. You know, apart from it being glorious and sunny and shit. So an American tourist saw me talking to the camera and, you know, describing sites and stuff, and asked me what I was doing. I said, oh, you know, just doing a little travel documentary thing. And he asked me for some information about the old ship and what it all meant. So I told him it was called the HMS Cobblebobber, and Captain Australia sailed it here in 1918 to found a settlement of Australia. He believed me too. See, I don't get that. You're a tourist, you come to a country, don't bother to learn anything about it before you even get here. So you let cheeky buggers like me lead you astray. So he's going to go home now to you know, fucking Wyoming or wherever he's from. And he's going to tell his family all about the SS Cobblebobber, oh, sorry, HMS Cobblebobber, and Captain Australia founding Australia and naming the whole continent after himself in 1922. Of course, not too long ago, all of this, meters and meters underwater when it flooded. But as you can see, things seem to have bounced back all right. Just a brown river. Brown, brown, brown. Also, I want you to note, look, the nanny state hasn't caught up with this plate yet. There's no railings at all. A child could fall off into this muddy water and get slightly damp. Well, wet, really, but it's just unusual in this day and age where everything has to be, you know, safe for the precious little snowflakes so no one can possibly hurt themselves in any way and then sue the council. Just have no railing here. No fence. Couldn't even see a sign that says, you know, please don't fall into the river. It might be inconvenient. There you go. There's a piece of Queensland for you. Victoria Bitter Beer. See, that's a sign that tourists have been here, because no Australian anywhere actually drinks VB. Well, Bogans do, but you know, they don't count. Really. Any Australian who can string a sentence together without having to interject the word fucking every third word doesn't drink VB. So tourists have been there. Maybe some Bogans up from the Gold Coast. Let's fucking go up to Brisbane for a fucking night, eh? Fucking go drinking, fucking. Having a bit of a fish in the Brown River. It tells me he got a couple of brims in the last hour or so. I don't know whether I'd eat them, but you know, he's just fishing with his son. Bit of fun. So, all this up the bank behind me here is the Brisbane Botanical Gardens, or whatever they call it. I forget what the official name is, but city park kind of gardens thing, and lots of little places you can just sort of sit and find a quiet spot in the shade, sleep under a tree, chill out. It's awesome. One of my favourite places in Brisbane. If you ever come to Brisbane, you know, forget all the touristy stuff, just come along to the gardens and find a shady spot and have a snooze, have a little picnic with some friends. It's awesome. Lovely, relaxing, sloshy slosh of the gentle Brisbane River as it ebbs and flows, and I don't know, I'm no good at this poetic crap. Oh look, there's cliffs over here. Apparently really good climbing on those cliffs. I've never actually gone climbing on them myself because I don't like climbing at all. I had a friend here in Brisbane, she loves climbing, and she told me, oh, if you want to go climbing, you go on these cliffs over here and they're brilliant. And then I told her my general attitude towards rock climbing, which is it's tedious and boring and kind of pointless, and she got all pouty and wouldn't talk to me for a while. But there you go. There are, you know, just next to the city, good rocks to climb on if you're so inclined. Wouldn't mind going abseiling down them. Abseiling I like, going down it's fun. But innuendo. Going down is awesome. We got a kind of mangrovey spot, which doesn't smell particularly good when the tide is out, but you know, it's just more brownality for the Brown River in Brisbane. Brown, 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 brown. Actually, Brisbane seems a lot cleaner than it usually is. See, all down here there's normally all kinds of rubbish and crap that gets washed ashore, that people have, you know, chucked in the river or over the bridges or in storm drains or whatever, but it's nice and clean today, which is good to see. Well, spoke to you soon. Look, there's some crap. There's some crap. There's some crap. Oh, there's some more crap. More trash. More trash. Dear people of Brisbane, stop being such awful litterbugs. The river is brown, the shore is brown, the trees are brown, all your garbage just shows up really easy. It doesn't get hidden, doesn't get buried, doesn't get washed out to sea, it just sits here on the shore, choking wildlife and killing, I don't know, puppies and shit. It's a bit dangerous. Just wonder if someone doesn't chop that down and, you know, occupational health and safety or something. You know, someone's wandering along talking to a camera, not watching where they're going. Concussion, death, bleeding everywhere. And then the leeches come out of the water, and before you know it, I'm on the news. Fat dork sucked dry on muddy, smelly shoreline in Brisbane. It's kind of an awkward headline, but that's how I imagine it would go. There's some more crap, but look, 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 green! Brown, 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 oh, green! And blue trash. Lairbridge. Jeez. Actually, you gotta think that must be flood damage. These things have, you know, when the ground was saturated, all their root systems got weakened by the tides and they've been pushed over, and council hasn't had time to cut them free yet, I guess. So I don't remember there being so many hazards on this lovely little walk. There's apparently all kinds of stuff that lives here, and these browny brown bits of the brown Brisbane River. What have we got? Got brim That's what that guy said he was catching. There's a flathead and just mangrove stuff. Banana prawns, believe it or not. There is a thing called a banana prawn. And yabbies. There's mud crabs, of course, lots of mud. There's always mud crabs, whelks, and you know, a bunch of green shit. But look, if you look closely, look this up. Ants have actually built a little ant farm inside the sign. They're actually just squeezed between the glass and, you know, some mud and crap is collected over there. Maybe the floods reached up this high and filled it with silt. But some ants have just started setting up shop in there. Weird. Oh, I think they've killed something out there. Yeah, having a bit of a feast. Om nom nom nom. These are grey mangroves. Well, I disagree with that. Not grey mangroves at all. They're brown. I've just been talking about that. The most widespread of Australian mangroves. They are hardy, surviving in both high and low salt levels. Grey mangroves excrete excess salt from special glands on their leaves. Can you see the salt on the underside of the leaf? Let's go see if I can find a leaf to find out. Okay, let's have a look here. No. Nope. 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 But there's a spider web there. So that sign back there was obviously full of shit. Because these aren't grey mangroves, they're clearly brown. And there was no salt on the underside of any of those leaves I looked at. So I guess it's not just me that lies to tourists who come to Brisbane. It's the council. I feel more justified in my tall tale of Captain Australia in 1922 on the HMS. What was it? Kookaburra. Kookaburra. There really should be a ship named the HMS Kookaburra. Kookaburra. Just rolls off the tongue. Kookaburra. Kookaburra. The HMS Kookaburra. Do you know, I rather forgot how harsh that Queensland sun really is. It's merciless. I'm going to get a sunglass tan, I know it. I've only been walking for like an hour. Bloody hell. Of course, one of the benefits of that very, very direct, harsh sun is the instant you hit some shadows, lovely and cool again. Because there's always just that soft, cooling breeze. Nothing worse in the world than warm wind. But no, there's a lovely cool breeze today. I'm out of the direct sun at least, so I'm safe from spontaneously combusting and leaving behind nothing but a pile of ashes underneath a little camera. These are the botanical gardens. Look at it. Just beautiful. Little fountain off there in the distance. Just all this lovely soft foliage, this lovely grass and animals and birds and shit. It's just beautiful. It's relaxing, and oh my god, some numbnut prick of a wanker of a I think I'm a bloody artist has put this ugly, severe, sharp, harsh bullshit of a pretend piece of artwork, modern sculpture or whatever they want to fucking call it, this hideous thing right in the middle of all this peacefulness. Let's see if we can find a plaque and find out which douchebag artist is responsible for putting this hideous thing in amongst all this lovely, natural, calming foliage and shit. Oh, look, here we go. See if we can read this plaque. This is, well, let me get out of my own shadow. Morning Star by John Barlow Hudson from the World Expo in '88 sculpture collection. So, 1988, Australia's bicentenary, 200 years since we became a nation essentially. Some douchebag thought this would look just fucking fantastic amongst a bunch of relaxing foliage. Well, it doesn't, you bastard. I mean, you have to imagine that that moron sort of trying to justify himself and justify that hideous piece of art and saying, well, it was designed, see, to contrast and complement and enhance the natural beauty of all the foliage. So I imagine he's got an English accent, despite the fact that was made for the 88 Expo, and he was probably Australian because that was all about Australia. But anyway, the harshness of the angles and the reflectiveness of the mirrored surfaces. Now his accent's morphing a bit because he is a pretentious tool, I imagine. I don't know where I'm going with this gag. I'm done now. So someone has left their bag here. Clearly it's a bomb of some kind, and Terrace has just left it there to destroy the harmony of this park, inspired by that hideous statue perhaps, to destroy the park, blow it to pieces. Or, you know, there's every chance because it's Sunday morning that some drunk chick just left it there after a big Saturday night out. But whatever. See, look at that. Nice relaxing little water feature coming off the fountain behind it. Over a little lily pond, and oh look, there's an ibis sitting on a pile of crap. So the problem is, the ibis are a hideous pest. They aren't that lovely natural wildlife. They're just like a winged rat, really, and tourists feed them. Look over here. There's a bitch. There's a wanker of a child. We'll feed the ducks, we'll feed the ducks. Meanwhile, all those ibis are hanging around stealing all the bread and shit. Freaking ibis. Hate the ibis. You know, when you first see him, you think, oh, look at that lovely bird and his big, long, hooked bill. But then you're sitting around somewhere, you know, eating some fish and chips or something, and one of these bastards swoops onto your table, picks up your bit of flake, and fucks off with it. Happens. See, this is something new since I've been to Brisbane last. They've installed all over the city these little kiosks or ports for these rental push bikes. But weirdly, you can't ride a push bike in Australia anywhere, legally, on the road, without a helmet. But there's nowhere to rent a helmet from. So if you're a tourist, you gotta go, I don't know, buy a helmet before you use these? I don't know. Weird. Got some bicycle parking here, which is fairly standard for a city, I guess. Little sign here, bike parking, lock it, don't lose it. Just a reminder to secure your bike so someone doesn't nick it, which is always, you know, a handy reminder if you're a retard. But of course it doesn't really matter if the thieves come along with some bolt cutters and just cut away your security anyway. Here's another rarity for you. Time Zone over there. An actual video game arcade. Of course it's almost exclusively full of ticket and prize machines these days, not proper arcade games, but there you go, a few of them still exist. There is something about this city which I did forget about, almost completely as a matter of fact, and that is the sheer vast numbers, swarms of emos and scene kids and hipsters. I don't think there's an optometrist in this city who isn't just currently out of stock of thick-rimmed black frames that they put non-prescription lenses into. Because the city's lousy with them. They're everywhere. It's ridiculous. An extermination. Alright, on my way to the Manor Bar, which in case you are unaware, is a video game and sort of geek and general themed bar here in Brisbane. There's one about to be opened in Melbourne as well.
Now, the Manor Bar opened up just after I actually left Brisbane to come live in Sydney. and I know a couple of the guys who actually own the Manor Bar. So this is the first time I'd ever had a chance to come actually drink in the place and experience what the Manor Bar is for myself. The plan was also to try one of each of their specially video games themed cocktails and shots. But I may have got carried away with that plan.
Well, here we are, day 3 of my trip. Didn't take any video yesterday because I went drinking in the Manor Bar the first night I got here and got absolutely babooned off my bum. And spent most of yesterday with a rarity for me, an extreme hangover. Normally don't get hangovers, but I pushed the limits at the Manor Bar and woke up just feeling slaughtered. But all I did yesterday was hang out at a friend's place anyway, some old friends I had from when I used to live up here. So when once I recovered enough to get on a train at least, I went and had a visit with them. But my flight's, I've just checked out of the hotel. My flight isn't till this evening, till after the sun goes down. So I've got an entire day just to float about Brisbane, go for a walk, visit some of my favourite places, and that's where I'm taking you to now. It's called South Bank. It's one of my favourite places in Brisbane. It's very pretty. Bit touristy on the really hot days, but it's where I used to go to sort of one of the places I went to chill out and relax, because it's kind of a little man-made beach off the side of the Brisbane River here, really, and it's lovely. I don't know how well it survived the floods, because it would have been all underwater through here, but we'll go see. It used to be lovely. Hopefully it still is. Hopefully it's recovered enough by now. Unlike me, who am still recovering. Man, that was an epic night. Epic! As you can see all through here, lots of construction and shit going on, obviously repairing all the damage that the floods did through here, because all this was underwater. All of it. Well, this bit looks alright now. You can see over there we've got some fences and construction and stuff going on, so the main part of it, the beach over there, obviously completely destroyed by the flooding, so they're having to rebuild the damn thing by the looks of things. All of this through here used to be a lovely little man-made beach kind of thing. Some nice wide sands and sunbathers and swimming and cavorting. And here we've got sort of a little picnic area. There's even a couple of free-to-use barbies sitting there, ready for people to fry up some snags. No shrimps, of course. Prawns, perhaps. No shrimps on the barbie. But this, I think, has to be the first time I've ever come by this place. And it's been empty. I think every other time in the little over a year I lived in Brisbane, every time I've come by here, there's people barbecuing and, you know, sharing a few drinks with friends and stuff, and, you know, families or tourists and backpackers. And very weird to see it devoid of human life. Some more leftover destruction from the floods. Just ships and boats strewn about on dry land. What a horrible thing. You know that, or it's a dry dock and they're meant to be there.
Australia, and Queensland in particular, is a very tourist-friendly place, really. We've got lots of stuff built especially for tourists to make their lives easier. This lovely footbridge is one of those things. This one was specifically built with American tourists in mind, because every now and again there's some seats here for the fat and lazy Americans to rest on, because they won't get across it all in one go.
This river smells like shit, Basil. It is shit, Austin. Oh, it's alright then. The peaty aroma of damp, rotting plant matter. Hippies love this stuff. Oh, wait a second. Someone's at a bit of an off. Or someone's nicked someone's bike, torn the seat off, and then thrown it in the river. That's classy. No seat. Alright, so if you live in Brisbane and the first weekend of May your bike got nicked, I know where it is. Just found it for you, mate. Went for a bit of a swim and the seat popped off. Why would you... Is the seat a trophy? Did whoever stole that bike, they went, I need a trophy. I'd have taken the handlebars, mounted them on the wall on a plaque, like horns. Actually, no, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't steal someone's freaking bike, because that's a scummy thing to do. Who steals a bike, honestly? Why am I doing so many Austin Powers quotes today? I haven't even seen that movie in ages. I got your orange shirt, eh? Just quietly, by the way, a little piece of information about Brisbane you may not find in the tourist brochures. The ratio of hot chicks to fuggos is off the scale. There are more hot chicks in Brisbane than anywhere else. And the level of fuggos, very, very few. It's great. It's a very pretty city in more ways than one. Now, I'm not saying that fuggos are valueless as human beings. I'm just saying there are a lot of pretty girls here, and it's nice to look around and go, attractive girl, attractive girl, attractive girl. It's pleasant. Of course, if you're like me and have the social skills of a tranquilized wombat, knowing that there are lots of pretty girls in this city, man, I help you a lot, but you know, I'm just saying. If you like pretty girls, just staring at them from a park bench like a creep, because you're too socially inept to strike up a conversation with them, Brisbane's where you should be. I'll be damned. I'm just wandering through the gardens here. Hello. Now, if you're Australian, you should know what that is. It's one of our native birds, one of our most famous ones. Was the emu, and then there's this guy. This guy's the Kookaburra, who Americans always like calling the laughing Kookaburra because its call sounds a bit like someone cackling. It's actually a relative of the kingfisher family, and the reason I like Kookaburra so much is because they eat snakes, and I hate snakes. So thank you, Mr. Kookaburra. Gob down some snakes, eh? Actually swoop down, pick up the snake, fly back up on the tree, and then whack it against the branches to kill it. The Kookaburra is an awesome bird. Hello, Captain Kookaburra. He's just looking straight at me. Ooh, and look, more birds. These guys are called ducks. And there's a lady duck and a boy duck, or a mallard. I really would be astonishingly shitty at doing David Attenborough's job, being a wildlife documentarian or something. Oh! I'll be damned. Check this out. Yeah, he's just hanging out. I've got no idea what kind of lizard he is. It's not a frillneck. And I think he's getting uncomfortable with me sitting here. He's perched up. If he opens his mouth, that's a threat display, I know that much. Or is he a frillneck? He's not poisonous or anything, but he'll give you a nasty bite. Look at those claws too.
He's giving me the stink eye. You can see his colourful scales down the front there. I don't know whether they're for a threat display or he's mating, or maybe he just likes to look stylish. Or for all I know, he's not a he actually. Can't really tell with lizards this close. Anyway, we've got to stick something up there, Colmacker. See whether they got balls or they got the other thing. Very long tail on him too. That, I suspect, is for counter moments when he's running up trees, or maybe he's like the old blueies who get up on his hind legs. No, the frill next to that, I forget. I don't know much about lizards. Let's leave him alone. I think I've bothered him enough for one day. I wonder if he wants to snack on one of these birds. It looks like he could take him. What do you reckon, dude? Fancy a spot of luck for dunch. Duck for lunch. I'm an idiot. Oh, that's the proper name for it, by the way. I'm being calling it the Gardens, but, you know, the Queen's Park is what it's really called. It's one of my favourite places in Brisbane. There were a couple more places I wanted to visit while I was in Brisbane. Unfortunately, the day turned from glorious to horrid. It started hammering down with rain. It even started hailing briefly. Those little white dots, hailstones. So I made my way to the airport a little earlier than I planned, where I sat around bored as all hell. And then my flight was delayed because of thunder and lightning, which means anybody on the tarmac had to get the bugger off there just in case lightning struck a plane and everything exploded. I eventually made it home safe and sound. Very tired, but very happy. I enjoyed Brisbane. I always do.